went to Weequay. Now I'm Mustangs, he's South Ward.
Okay.
We always compete against each other. He's got out a year ahead of me in Weequay. Darryl Harvey.
Baseball,
Harvey?
Right? Yeah, senior. I have Darryl Harvey
Baseball,
Jr.
football, basketball.
That's his son.
Weequay.
His son went to Seton Hall Prep out of Hawthorne Avenue.
He went to Seton Hall, his father.
Well, the son went there too.
Are you serious?
Won a TOC in basketball with Brandon Costner and I forgot the other guard they had up there. But
let me tell you something.
He's on my staff.
Let me tell you something.
And he played for me for Zucro.
His father, his grandfather, was a class act. His grandmother, class act. His aunt, oh gosh, I can't think of her name right now. The whole family and his Uncle Keith, class act. His father, so gifted, it was unfair. They wanted to take him out of high school in his junior year, and he chose to stay. Him and Ronnie Felton, I know you heard of Ronnie.
Yeah.
Ronnie hitting, him pitching. What?
Yeah, son went to college, went to Hofstra for baseball.
That just sprung something when you said Darryl Harvey Jr.
Yeah.
His father, unfortunately, passed. We worked at Northern State together.
Okay. Yeah, so that's one of my coaches, and he played in my program from 8th grade until, he graduated high school. And my other coach is Darnell Mangan. He coaches football at Irvington. He used to be the head football coach at Barringer. He coached at Weequay. He played at Westside, and he's one of my top assistant. He's been with me since I've been head coach since '06. As soon as I got the job, I hired him as my JV coach because he was volunteering when Coach Blue was the coach and I was the assistant coach. So when I got the job, I made him my head coach. I made my JV coach.
Well, again, are you a devil or a blue devil? I told you I was going to get you.
I'm a blue
now,
devil.
all of Central is listening. Are you a blue devil or are you a devil?
I'm a blue devil, man.
Okay.
I'm a blue devil.
He's vindicated himself.
Yeah, I'm a blue devil.
He's vindicated himself because some people, the young group that came to the new school, they call themselves devils. I'm like, no, you're supposed to be a red devil,
you're
a blue devil.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Let's go into that there. You also need to be commended because you deal with handicapped students.
Yeah.
How is that challenging for you?
Well, I mean, right now, I subbed for a long time. Now I'm an attendance counselor. I've been an attendance counselor for 4 years. I actually, when you say handicapped, you're saying like
those that have special talents.
Yeah. Well,
see, I don't look at handicap as back when you and I was in school.
Right.
They put them in a special class.
Right. They still do that.
I speak of it in the aspect of they have extra talents.
Right. No. Well,
and need a little more cohesive individual attention.
A little bit more patience. That's what they need. You got to be a little patient with them. But to go back, like when in '98, when I said I sat there and waited for them to kick the door, and they never kicked the door in. It kicked in. You got a college degree. What are you doing? So I went and got a job. I worked for Essex County Mental Health for 7 years before I went into the school system. So like I said, I was lucky. I didn't catch nothing that would hinder me from, using my degree.
Your license and
using my degree to my advantage. So I worked for Essex County Mental Health as a case manager for adults with mental illness. And, I would go out, link them to different services, Social Security, like behavioral health programs, Medicaid.
Make them along the way, help them along the way.
Right, make sure they're taking their meds. So I kind of dealt with adults with mental issues. So, dealing with kids who have issues, but they haven't got to that level yet. But if they don't get the help they need, everyone's going to be out in the community, walking around trying to figure it out.
What would you say if you were asked, what was the most essential lesson that you learned from then to now, and then being blessed to have a documentary with Jason Williams and LeBron James? What would you say to a kid that envisions this and you didn't, and it happened, came to fruition?
But I mean, I would tell a kid just stay focused, man. Despite all the obstacles that's put in front of us, especially in certain neighborhoods that we live in, and we walk out and we see different things every day, and you're walking that same path for 5-10 years. You see the same people in the neighborhood, and in your mind you think this is going to be me once I become an adult. Because some kids think like that, like they see these people every day and they think this is life, and it's not life until you meet you. That's why I say every kid needs a mentor. They should have somebody in their life that comes and gets them from their neighborhood, takes them somewhere, and let them see something different. Because if I see this every day, and I commit negativity, in my mind, I might not think I'm doing something wrong because everybody in my neighborhood is doing it.
It's the norm.
It's the norm, but it's wrong. But I've been seeing it for so long, I think it's right. Conditioned. And I think I think they understand it, but I don't think they want to understand that. Like, a lot of these kids are conditioned to do the things that they're doing because nobody has showed them nothing different. I didn't get on an airplane till I was in the 10th grade. I was playing basketball. Basketball got me on an airplane. Basketball took me out of Newark. If I didn't play sports, I probably would not know about anything outside of Newark, New Jersey. You know what I mean? Basketball gave me that outlet. And I'm not saying basketball is what everybody needs, because everybody got different talents.
Everyone has to use their vehicle. But also, I have to throw into the mix that you had an individual by the name of Steve Cole that was very
That's who gave me
instrumental
the job I have now as a coach.
Your exposure too. I would like for you to speak of him.
Oh man,
He's down in Mississippi now?
Yeah, I talk to Coles maybe, I give it every other month maybe. Him and Mr. Stewart, they're still influential. Like, they always gave me advice. They never judged me. That's why I respect them. I had caught a charge back in, I was in college, back in '88. I got probation or whatever, so now it's time. I saw Mr. Blue. I used to bring kids to his, he used to run a summer league for Newark Public Schools at Central, so I used to have my zoo crew team in there, and one day he said, how would you like to coach at Central? And I'm like, coach at Central? He's like, yeah, I'm winding down. I want to bring somebody in that really focused on the kids in the community. And I was like, nah, Blue, I don't think I want to do that because it's going to take me away from the community. Now I'm going to be positioned in a place and I don't have interaction with all the kids. He said, no, this would be better. Now you can get the kids to come where you are and you can focus on their education. You can make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. And I thought about it and I said, wow, I can do that. So I put my paperwork in because I had my college credits. I put my paperwork in to be, I was working at mental health at the time, and my paperwork got denied because I had a charge. So I told Coles, Mr. Stewart, they was like, oh, well, you just be a volunteer. We won't put your name on no paperwork. I went downtown, and Annette Williams was over recreation at the time. Right. She was over recreation for the city, and I got much respect for Ms. Williams. I told her what was going on, Ms. Williams. I'm trying to get in. I got a charge. She said, well, how old is the charge? And this was 2003. I was trying to get in, so the charge was like 16 years old. She said, get it expunged. I said, expunged? She said, yeah, just go down, get the paper. And I followed the process. A year later, I did the expungement. I reapplied. I got in. And Mr. Coles is like, well, we really want you to be the head coach. And I'm like, nah, I'm gonna wait Blue out. Like, I'm not ready to be head, And the next year we went to the state finals. No, it's funny because my first year at Central, the varsity was 0-18. I didn't coach the varsity. They was 0-18. They didn't win a game. I was going through it because I wasn't used to being around that type of basketball. And the next year, the varsity won 4 games. The next year, they won 8 games. So now, I was the freshman coach. My freshmen were seniors now. They went to the state final. They won 22 games. My freshmen that I had freshman year, when they became seniors, they went to Rutgers. They lost in the state championship to Haddonfield, who had Zubek, who played at Duke, the big 7-foot kid. And I was like, wow, we made a transformation. Every year we got better. Some of my kids transferred in because I was at Central and it helped. And after that, Blue said, I'm stepping down. he went out. He didn't win the championship. He won the sectional. He won the conference championship. And Coles and Mr. Stewart came to me and said, "We want you to be the coach." And I'm like, yeah. They sat me down. They talked to me like, we want you. You're a Blue Devil. You're a Blue Devil. You're a Blue Devil. So I said, yeah, I'll take the job. So this was 2006. My first varsity year was 2000 season 06-07. And we went to we won like 12 or 13 games that year. We went to the state tournament. I've been in the state tournament every year. I've been at Central, which is, I pride myself on that because, that's your goal to get to the state finals. So I've been the coach there ever since. And Mr. Coles, man, I used to get on him because Coles used to hoard all the hoodies. He got all his stuff in his office. I'm like, Coles, get his stuff to the kids. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, man, we not winning. We losing. I'm not giving them kids. It's not yours, Coles. It's for the kids. So, I have a good relationship with Mr. Coles and Mr. Stewart was the principal at the time.
He's a Blue Devil for real.
Oh, man, he's a Blue Devil for real, man. My assistant coach, the Devil, they got it at center court. And, they always say Coles look like the Blue Devil because he got that little face and whatever. He used to be like, go stand on Mr. Coles. And they used to be like, Mr. Coles. That's what he called the Devil, Mr. Coles. But
Mr. Coles.
Yeah, but again, we're going back to where there was pride. The school system, most of the people that worked in the school system went to school in Newark.
What does that mean if you went to that school, you think? Have you seen that throughout all sports or just basketball?
Well, I really just focused on basketball and football, but
you think it's a different culture now?
Yeah, there's no pride, man.
I think some pride came back to West Side for sure.
Well,
Gary Taylor's up there.
Well, he's retired now.
Brian Johnson, Brian Logan over the Weekway.
He's at Weekway.
Fahim Ellis.
Right.
Now who's at Barringer now?
I don't know who the athletic director is, Mr. Brogdon, but I don't know if he went to Barringer. I don't know if he went to school in Newark.
And the East Side?
Side, I don't know who the athletic director is down there. Then Shabazz Cologne is the athletic director, but I don't.
Who?
His name is Cologne. He used to teach at Raphael Marin, Louise Mills Marin. He's from the North Ward, but I'm not sure. That's what I mean. Like,
so you think that means a lot?
Yeah, even with the teachers, when you got, if you're my younger brother, and and when you grew up in the community, you went to the community school. Now
True.
These kids go all over the place. That's why a lot
of
these
kids go to
a
winning team.
No, I'm talking about even educational wise. Even if you didn't play sports, if you lived in that community,
that's where you had to go.
You went to Central.
That's where you had to
go. So if I got a younger brother and certain teachers, and they bring, let me see your schedule. You got Miss Johnson, you got Miss Hill. Oh, no, Miss Johnson, cool. This all you got to do, Miss Johnson. And then you come in and McCray. Is Sean McCray your brother?
That's it.
And you're
label.
Like, yeah.
Can't get away with nothing.
Right. So now it's like, oh, she know my family. Like kids come into school now, and I'm good with last names, and I'll be like, wait, what's your mother's name? So they grew up, they come back, oh, my mother says she knows you. Now you have a relationship with that kid because they feel like, oh, he know my parent. Or, if the parent said good things about you, now it's like the kid, they take to you.
Yes.
And that helps. It helps when the kids come in, one day they laughing, smiling, and then he come in the next day, oh, what's wrong? Because you always used to see that kid cheerful.
And you have, now you don't have to break down the wall.
Because you already have a relationship.
You can talk to the kid.
Right, and it's like, what's wrong? Oh, no, something wrong. It's not you. And you jokingly trying to get it out of them. Then they like, oh, last night my brother got shot, or my mother got locked up, or my mother's sick. Now you get the real story. So now when they come there, oh, well, what this kid? What's going on with this kid? Why he always? Listen, let me tell you.
That someone doesn't have any ties or relationship.
Right. So we need to have relationship with our children especially if we work with them, you have to know. I used to pick kids up and I drop them off, and then I see the parent and I'll be like, I see the community. I'm like, dang, I got to stay on this kid because.
Yeah. Because
tomorrow I might not see him. He might be like, no, I'm going over here with them. And I already know what they're doing. I don't want you to go over there with them. So look, I'm going to be here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Make sure you're ready. And you're going to be with me all day. But at the end of the day, I got to drop you back in that community.
True.
And now it's like, damn, I hope I see him tomorrow. Or I'm picking him up on Monday. I hope. everything okay, you know. And
You didn't just throw it off.
right, and people don't understand. They don't have compassion for a lot of these kids, and a lot
Well,
of
do you
these
think
kids.
because it wasn't given to them? See, I've always had the concept.
That